All right, good morning, guys. Welcome to today's adventure. We've been paddling a couple miles, headed into Lighthouse Lakes. We're near the South Bay area. This is where the slough goes in. As I've gone along these shorelines, I've been kicking up a few redfish. Not a lot of obvious signs, no tailing fish and such as that, but as I paddle along, I've been kicking up wakes. We're gonna keep moving along, making a couple casts at these points. Where I've been seeing them as I move along. So appreciate you guys stopping in today. We're gonna spend a little time searching. It's a weekday, nobody out here. Got this place to myself this morning. Beautiful, peaceful place to spend the day. We're gonna see how it goes. Little northeast breeze today. There's a lot of life, a lot of action, a lot of mullet. There's just a lot of things moving in the water. And when you find that kind of activity, there's usually some redfish intermingled with those guys. And right here in front of me, this little cut actually goes all the way through and connects to the big water. Some flow that goes through here. The big fish don't like dead ends. They don't like places where water doesn't flow. You'll see a lot of mullet in those areas, but if you're looking for, you know, the big reds, they do like current, and they don't like dead ends. Had a looker right there, little follow. When you're searching back here with the top water, you're gonna get a lot of looks. You're gonna get a lot of follows. The top water is a great fish finder. If they continue to blow up on that and not get hooked, I'll switch to a subsurface, little paddle tail. But for the morning while I search, I like to fan a lot of casts out. There was another one. Another one thought about it but didn't eat it. I'm gonna give this about 10 or 15 more minutes back here, and then I'm gonna make my move to the outside shoreline of South Bay. Couple more casts. Guys, well, we're just getting started out this morning. Gonna go back here, stay tuned, see how this day goes. Old school paddling today in the long lean Tarpon 160i. This is a kayak. It's been discontinued for quite a few years. I still have a couple of them in the barn. This one has huge sentimental value to me. So many memories in this boat, paddling, exploring over the years. Paddles like nothing else. It's like a knife edge in the water. Effortless slicing through the water. And yeah, the evolution of kayak fishing has definitely changed over the years. The boats have gotten wider, bigger motors. I still love a paddling machine, an efficient kayak, and you get a nice paddle and the sky's the limit. I actually came to the inside. This is called, we call it Big Sandy. Just a big middle lake inside the Lighthouse Lakes trails. And today we have a northeast wind, so I'm gonna stick to this shoreline, and I'm gonna spend my morning just kind of looking for some tailing fish. It's a great place to sight cast. This morning, as you can see, we have a lot of overcast, a lot of cloud cover. It's gonna be hard to see into the water. So I'm actually gonna paddle, you know, up this shoreline, maybe a mile or a little bit more, just kind of cruise the shorelines, looking for tailing fish, looking for some obvious signs. And while the conditions are great, you know, instead of blind casting, I'm just gonna paddle and look. You never know how it's gonna go, but we're gonna give this a chance for a while and see if we can spot some tailing reds. And it's just me and the birds and the fish out here today. Appreciate you guys for stopping in. Guys, well, here we are. Still no tailing fish today, none of the obvious signs. What I'm seeing are little swirls, little pushes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start making a few casts at these wakes. Lots of mullet, just kind of lazy mullet. Nothing really jumping out of the water today. And eventually I'm gonna break out into South Bay and work my way back to the launch. It's like 73 degrees, the beginning of October. There goes one right in front of me. As soon as I say that, I run over a fish. And it's just as simple as that. You don't see tails, you don't see a lot of activity or a lot of commotion, but as soon as the kayak passes in to their area, you see that wake take off. Looks like a torpedo. And if you see one, that's usually a good sign that there's another one in there. The search continues. Came up on a nice little pod of tailing reds just as I was about to give it up. Great position, had time to pull out the fly rod, spent most of the morning throwing topwater blind casting. So really cloudy, hard to see into the water this morning, but these guys were tailing and they gave me a great opportunity to present them a little fly. So there we go. Persistence paid off. This guy went for the green spoon. I like this green spoon. I think it kind of looks like a crab. Has a little orange. Beautiful redfish this morning. All right. Kind of a slow start this morning, but that's a great fish to get me into the game. There is a lot of water between me and the truck. Again, little green spoon fly and ready for the next fish. We're on the edge of Lighthouse Lakes, kind of broke out to the open water. It's a little chain of islands over here that separates us. The water out here is a little bit deeper where I'm getting started, so blind casting is gonna be the best way. We're gonna spend the rest of the day with the wind at our back, drifting and casting. So when all else fails, we start blind casting the top water. And there I am, just cruising the shoreline, casting at the sand holes, really quiet, not a lot of action on the surface. When they hit close to the boat, it's advantage fish. You gotta give them a second. I prefer to land my fish all natural. I don't mess with nets too much. Oh yeah, this is a beauty. Nice redfish. Hit the top water, blind casting. So kind of shifted gears from the inside lakes to the outside here. Just drifting and casting. Drifting and casting. I mentioned a couple weeks ago the secret to my success. It's pretty simple. Cast it over there and you bring it over here. So you just hit as many spots as you can. There was a nice little blow up right there. A lot of fish, they've been hitting it on the run. There's another one. He's following. Ah. All right, guys, there's fish in the area. We just need one with the right attitude. Blind casting top water. nice red fish. Hit kind of close to the boat. Don't want to get too rough with them. And when you're landing fish in a kayak, there's always potential to put a hook in yourself, hook in your leg. So I like to let them get a little bit wore out before they get to the boat. Oh, this one's a beauty. Look at the color on that fish. Look at the color on that one. There's gold in them flats. That is a beauty. This one did not mess around. Beautiful red. This reel I'm using today, Shimano, amazing how far this thing casts. Hang time is incredible. SLX DC 150 with 10-pound braid, covers a lot of water. Got a dropping tide today. Most of the morning it was just standing high. The tide is starting to drop out now. Okay, there we go. Right at the boat. Right at the boat. Another beauty on the top water. So the blind cast in top water seems to be the way to go. There's another beauty. Look at the color on that fish. Gold, gold. So yeah, blind cast in the top waters. The tide started to drop out, but still pretty high by most standards. Now I'm hooked onto a whale. Oh yeah. Good fish. This one hit way out on the end of the cast. The floating grass is getting tough. You can see it's piling up on the line and it's piling up on the lure. Hooked 4 or 5 here. Decent red fish. That's a good one. Another good fish for sure. Yep. This one's nice red fish. Got a nice little heart on there. Beautiful spots on the tails. Multi spots on both sides. Nice fish. So yeah, the floating grass out here is getting a little crazy. Nice little flurry of action. Had 4 or 5 of these guys. Decent little slot reds. Blind casting, throwing the top water. Let those guys swim away to fight another day. Lighthouse Lakes trails, amazing place to paddle. South Bay right on the edge. A lot of options. You got deep water on the outside. When I say deep, deep is relative. It's more open water, maybe 6 inches to a foot deeper. You go inside the lakes, very shallow, very secluded, and just a different type of terrain in there where it is secluded in the tiny little lakes and cuts and stuff like that. But we're gonna spend a little more time out here, make a few casts. One more for the road. Been a hell of a day, guys. Nothing really giant, just some really nice fish. What's crazy is there were no little fish today. No rats in between. But it's getting close to that time. They just won't let me go home today. One thing to always remember when you're coming back in from Lighthouse Lake is to be careful in this channel. There's a lot of boat traffic. It's deep water, it's current. Today is quite peaceful. Middle of the week, nobody here. But these last 50 yards crossing the channel, you want to always be careful. Today was pretty cool. Paddled about 7, maybe 8 miles. Bit of an adventure. Got a fish on the fly, a little tailing action early. Blind casting paid off for the best fish today. But certainly do appreciate you guys joining along for the ride today. If you enjoyed the show today, subscribe to the channel. There's plenty more to come. Drop a like on us. If you have a question or a comment, I'm always there to reply and follow up on that. I always enjoy feedback from everybody out there. And if there's something you want to see specific in the future, let me know. We'll add that to the show. But for today, that was a good paddle, and it's time to head to the shop. So thanks again, and we'll see you guys on the next adventure with Slowride.